A couple of years ago, I got a watch into my collection that instantly became my daily watch. It was a watch that just had the right combination of look, style, function, feel, size, and quality. And it was a watch from the brand Vaer. Ever since having that watch in my collection, I've kept an eye on this brand. I've kept an eye on this brand because of how much I liked that first watch from them. And since owning that watch, I've seen not only them bring out some new designs, but also new options within the range, just like they have done with this C5 field watch. Hello, you're watching James. My name's James, you're watching me, and I am talking about watches, and I'm really pleased to be featuring another watch from the brand Vaer before, for a few different reasons. Firstly, because this watch itself is actually really cool, but also because it showcases the different options that they bring out and are made available to us as watch collectors. Because this C5 field watch, when you look on their website, is available in a quartz, a mechanical, and this solar powered version that I'm showing you today. And what I love about that is it gives us different options, but also different price points, because the quartz version is $199 USD, the mechanical is $659 USD, and this Epson VS42 solar powered quartz, the one that I am going to be showing you today, is $279 USD. And they all do present very similar to you if you are going to be buying one. That is that they all have a black PVD coating. They all come with 100 meters of water resistance. They come with a really good solid 2-year warranty and a 30-day return policy, which I do like that option. And it is one of those return policies that you do still need to keep the watch new, but you can order it, look at it when it arrives, and then make the decision about do you want to unwrap it and keep it. But it also then comes on a number of different strap options that you can choose, including a leather option, a nice custom bracelet that fits in well with this watch, a nylon, and then the FKM waffle that I was able to get into my collection with this watch. And I was able to get this watch into my collection because I actually reached out to Vaer. I don't often reach out to brands, not very often at all actually, but I wanted to reach out to them because I wanted to get another of their watches into my collection, and they were kind enough to send this one out to me. That's why you would have seen that sponsored icon earlier, and that is also why I'm going to leave just a direct link to their website in the description of this video. Now, in reviews of watches, I don't tend to dive into the brands too deeply. I find that's not really where my strengths lie as a video maker of watches. And I think a lot of people are going to appreciate this as a very American-based brand that was set up in 2016, and that they are an established brand, having sold more than 60,000 watches, or at least have 60,000 customers. And they are selling watches that they are trying very hard to have very much US based, or as much as possible. They list very specifically that 65% of the watch origins are from within the US, and more than 50,000 of the watches that they have sold have been fully assembled within the US, including the one I'm showing you today, their solar field watch. A watch that is 40 millimeters in case size, has a height of 12.2 millimeters, a lug to lug of 47.7 millimeters, a lug width of 20, but this waffle strap goes down to about 18 as you get to the end of it, and only weighs in at 79 grams. And of course, this size, this feel, and of course being solar as well, makes it a very easy watch to wear. I can grab it, I can go, and I don't need to worry about changing batteries at a later date, and I also don't need to worry about setting this watch time and date. It's something that I can just grab out of my collection and then not worry too much about it. And I've said previously before that this isn't a real positive for me. However, what I have learnt is that a solar quartz is probably the positive part of it. Recently, I've been stuck a couple of times with some quartz watches where the batteries have randomly died on me. And it's not like a mechanical watch where I can just wind it up. I then need to put some time and energy into replacing the battery. So it is nice to have a solar version of this, especially in this C5 field watch. And as we probably expect from this brand, it is super legible. One of the brand philosophies is to create everyday watches, and creating an aesthetic watch that is pleasing, a sized watch that is nice, but that is easy to wear is definitely one of their primary goals. And of course, if it's going to be an everyday watch, it does really need to be legible, and this one absolutely is. You'll see that this watch has a very black design. Black dial, black case, black strap, black hardware to that strap, and of course it is that black matte dial that is the first thing we're going to concentrate in on as I zoom into this watch. And what you'll see on that matte black dial is some white printing and some sort of off-white lume that when you turn the lights off make this very legible after dark. Some very nice lume on this one, and it has a date matched black window, which is really nice because it really then fits in with the rest of the aesthetics of this watch. The hands are super legible because of that lume that's filled within them, but because there are also this stark white contrast to that black dial. And of course, that nice long white second hand is ticking away because it is that quartz movement. And it is one of these quartz movements that I have no idea how it is being charged. There must be some sort of translucent effect to the dial or to the edges of the dial, because it is one of those sort of dials that I look at very closely and I can't see where the light is going in. I have owned a couple of solar watches before, in particular Seikos, that you can sort of see through into where it's being charged. And for me, it takes away from the watch a little bit. It's not something that I particularly love. So it's nice that there are these solar movements, that it is effectively hidden from us. And I like that they've chosen to use it with this field watch. And I actually really like that they've chosen to go with a single domed sapphire crystal. Normally I'm all for double domed for a number of different reasons, but this field aesthetic watch does give me some sort of 60s, 70s vibes, makes me feel like it's a bit of a 70s military style watch. And that sort of single dome, that little distortion right at the edges when you're looking down along the crystal, it kind of adds into that effect. And you would think with a all blacked out solid bezel, an all blacked out case, an all blacked out screw down crown, and even an all blacked out case back, that I wouldn't have too much to say about it. And well, I don't have probably too much to say about the all blacked out nature, although it is very nice and it certainly has been applied well. But what I like about this case, beyond the dimensions, is the shape of it. I like that it has a real soft, bulging type effect to it. It creates a nice soft feeling when you're wearing it, but it also gives it that little design element that just gives it that little extra boost for me. And I don't normally love rubber straps. This one here is a very nice waffle FKM strap, but I do find that it is probably a little bit longer for me, so it has that little tail that flicks up, which is never something that I love, but it does seem to suit this watch. And I've been looking at the other variations of bracelets and straps that you can get for this watch, and I think I still come back to this waffle strap. It just suits the aesthetics of the watch and suits the usage of this watch, for me at least. And I think that fits into the brand itself. These very easy to wear everyday watches with lots of variations available. And I particularly like with this particular style is that you can get the quartz or the solar or the mechanical, but you are getting a watch on wrist that you know comes from a company that actually sort of wants to look after you, that gives you these options, that gives you some affordable watches that you can buy and enjoy. And of course, it's nice that they also have this idea of that they want to represent their country and assemble and create these watches as much as they can within the US. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope to feature another one of their watches in the future. But until then, maybe you can watch my review of the first one that I had and another random watch video.